as you watch. Be on your way.
Are you from here? I mean, you seem well-traveled. I'm not from here. I'm just visiting my brother. He is in the Scholia Arcana. Surely you've heard of it. Full of stuffy old mages and strange books, and the rooms Varen wouldn't let me go in. Just think what might be there. So you met my brother. Was he at the tavern again? Did he mention when I could go see him at the Scholia Arcana chapter house? What? He was dismissed? How did that happen? He's been lying to me. I can't believe it. Thank you for telling me. I'm sorry, but I don't really want to think about the Scholia Arcana anymore. You can go see them in Upper City. I still can't believe he lied to me. My own brother. I don't know what to do now. I don't even know where to start. There's so much to tell. The Pradaria, of course, where all the shops and stores are. And the Keys and the Burn, and the Upper City, where my brother's school is, and also the temple and those marvelous gardens. Some merchants sell pails of fish or bolts of cloth, but Leargriff has all kinds of pretty things, and Gwalchmay has anything and everything. I spent 3 whole days in the bookstore, and then I smelled every herb and powder at Rowani's. Pride of Pradari's got boring old weapons and armor. The northern piers are called the Keys, where merchant ships dock for trade. It's safer there, sheltered by Bracken Bay, and farther from Cluricon. Only warships dock at the Burn, and it's all soldiers there. What with the officers' hall, though the healers there too. The tavern by the Keys. You'll find as many Varani sailors there as full Vithiri, and my lazy bones of a brother too. That's where the poor in the city live. A bit of it's overground, but the rest's in the lower tunnels. It's true, they live in caves. Oh, if you haven't been, you must go. The Scholia Arcana's there, of course, and the great houses. But the best part's the Lunar Gardens. It's always nighttime in the gardens, and so peaceful. You pass through there to the temple, which is also enchanting. The priestess is a fate weaver. So long.
So many new faces in the...
Curios, talismans, items of power. Curios, clasps, staves, and robes, all of the highest quality. A pleasure, I assure you. I've been supplying scholars and students alike for many a year. Those rare and potent marvels unavailable within their compound, I am happy to supply. A pleasure. Those rare and potent... To be honest, I never actually passed the initiation trials. An oversight, I assure you. Arrogant fools. Lyria's city. Magic runs through its veins, echoes in its courts and byways. And I do my modest part. Magic's mistress and goddess of fate, which is not but magic's deepest weave, after all. Go forth, live boldly, then return to me.
Those Varani want to swindle me. I can't charge.
A pleasant evening.
The last warship sailed yesterday.
I'll sell you weapons,
But if it's armor you need, you'll have to speak to that husband of mine. I like to think that every weapon I forge just might kill one of those two Arthur. That's what helps me sleep at night. A terrible thing. Much as it keeps us in business.
Before the war, the people of Rathir were filled with hope, with joy. Most of them, anyway. Have you met my husband?
Him? If you've any love of life, don't talk to him. Can't abide a joke. Can't enjoy a drink. Farewell.
Can you imagine the day they wed? It's beyond me.
Just look at it all.
Sif Sader at your service. Don't mind the racket. Just my wife, that harpy across the way. My craft is shields and armor only. The art of it's in the balance. Too heavy and you can't move in it. Too thin and it shatters. Majestic towers, crisp sea air, and I spend my life in here with that milksop Adar and my spiteful hag of a wife. What a mouse! Look at the way he taps at the forge. Scared of his own damn shadow. Proud is right, and why not? Fitted most of the Alfar army. No frills, no finery. Just good, hard steel. First and greatest mistake I ever made. Only thing sharper than her wares is the tongue in her mouth. So long.
Can you imagine the day they wed? It's beyond me. Know what I dream of? A quiet forge. Nothing but the sound of the billow fire and the hammer's ring. No oaths, no... That's the day I'll finally make my own work. Until then, mending helms and sharpening swords. I'll manage. Sometimes all I have is a sturdy hammer and an anvil. Never thought I could be unhappy working at a forge until I met those two. Some days I think it's all a jest, and they're like a pair of lovebirds when I'm gone. Others, that there will be bloody murder by noon. Rathir is quite busy now. It wasn't always this way. It was quiet and peaceful once, before the Tuatha. When I was young, the Tuatha stormed Erethel. They broke into Rathir once. I still remember the fires and their ghastly armor. Those fires took the southern docks. It's called the Losgiad now. The Burn.
Move along!
Students of magic, masters of spells.
Greetings. You have come to Gwalchmay's goods, provisioner to all Rathir, to high and low, great house and sparrow alike. Humble servant to great house, sparrow and soldier alike. Women and men in want of things make their way to Gwalchmay's goods. The great families of Rathir, of course, as rich in power as in gold. Visit the upper city and see them yourself. Worth the climb if you ask me. I could tell you a thing or two about this city. Did you know, for instance, that Faldra Nefari ate the 5th memorial stone? Cast a spell and ate it. I could say a thing or two about Wyvern Gif as well, if I didn't fear the consequence. Oh, him? No one knows his real name. Got that name from the way he talks. Some say he was next to the Archsage once, up Spire Top. Then a spell went wrong, or his lover fell to her death. Whatever it was, broke him, it did. The first 4 are easy enough to find about the city. But the 5th, few know the truth of it. The Wyverns had a claim of their own, mind you. But their marriage to Gif, a scandal. I know the truth of it, but I'm not at liberty to say. They are the rag pickers and dust grubbers of the city. Mind you, I don't let them in the front door. Appearances, not to mention odors. Come again.
This is the sage crafting table. I can help you with gems and shards and the like. If you want general goods, you should speak to Master Gwalchmay over there. It takes great concentration. You can get lost in the work. I like that. Oh, he's been very good to me. I knew my gems were good, but they wouldn't seem to sell in a market stall. They do better here. Oh, it's so lovely, the Lunar Gardens. Not that I've seen much else of the world. Have you? Oh, I'd be terrified to go so far. Goodbye. Oh, there's no use. I've lost the keys. Now Gwalchmay'll have my head if I can't think up something fast. Say, you're not good with locks, are you? Would you help a poor fellow who's down on his luck? Yes, as in, no need for keys. Ace with a lockpick. Gwalchmay wants an old red ledger from the storeroom in the customs house. Oh, I'm afraid they're lost for good. Now, I might have dropped them here, or at Kest's table the other night. But it's just as likely I dropped them in Bracken Bay after I'd had an ale or 3 at the Seafoam. The chest it's in, that is, yes. Although I don't know which one it is. But it's down there, somewhere. Oh, now don't worry, nothing in the storeroom's seen the light of day in years. No one will mind if you pick a few locks before you find it. The Chamber of Trade's on the way to the quays, and the storeroom's off one of the wings. Just pick any lock down there till you find the old ledger. Me, Gwalchmay calls me lad whenever he wants me, and the others call me hardly anything at all. Just fetch this and lift that. Well, he's a good enough master all in all. Sees to it I earn every coin of my wages, though. No standing about, not in his shop. With all these people walking around, you'd figure someone would help me after I lost my keys. Gets these ideas into his head. Needs this old thing, needs that new thing. This time it's shard prices by the decade. Something to do with a deal he is or isn't striking with that Karasta trader. Oh, the things they say about that Lanshi. That she talked a Jotun out of his own hammer once. And another time sold some Varani fool his own silk for twice as much, after cutting it to ribbons and winding it on spools. Chamber of Trade basement. Just head toward the keys. Oh, and have these. That should help.
Don't you just love the luminary leaf? I could sit here reading for days and not reach past the first shelf. I'm studying in preparation to join the Scholia Arcana. Is there any other reason to be in Rathir? This is where magic lives. It is the only place to be if you wish to study the arcane, to see the lunar gardens, or to gain an audience with the Archsage himself. War is ugly. Perhaps if the generals did more reading, the scholars did more fighting, then everyone would better understand the pointlessness of violence. How do you know my brother? Wait. He's dead? Ram. No, it can't be. I told him this would happen, but he wouldn't listen. Pig-headed fool! War isn't the way. Anyone who knows history knows that. But Ram was too impatient for words. He was so brash, so brave. We couldn't have been more different, Ram and I. He always excelled at hunting, fighting, combat. Me? I was always the family joke, a boy with his nose in a book. What Ram never knew, and will never know now, is that I admired him greatly. I wanted to be like him. Strong, confident, passionate. True, I believe that the Crystal War is a doomed affair, but my criticism of it was more about keeping my brother home. Home, safe.
Welcome, friend, to the Luminary Leaf, bookseller extraordinaire. In truth, I once thought I might be a poet, but it seems in the end I am more shepherd than ram to my flock of tomes. Ah, you see? My metaphors always run amok somehow. Nearly any book you can imagine can be found here, at the Luminary Leaf, be it history, verse, or scholarship. Though, I must confess, we are not as well supplied in gnomish texts as I would like. The ancient steps of our founder and prophet are dear to any Rathiri's heart, but mine shall always stir to the brave tales of the war-sworn of old, pitting steel and valor against chaos itself. Now, while many books can be found only within Scholia Arcana walls, others can only be found without. Gnomish texts, magical controversies. Pelewin tugs at the heartstrings. Medara's mists at dawn takes my breath away. If you seek something a bit more rough and lively, the Varani Kesseniki or Sea Chance might be worth a read. I cannot ascend the steps of the spire without thinking on the first lines of The Fall of Dwinian. nor espy the wending and not recall stone shadows. Rathir is a city of letters. I dare anyone to say otherwise. Until next time.
Ruwani, apothecary, alchemist, importer, and cultivator at your service. I've always found the mystery of herbs and fungi far more fascinating than anything else. As soon as I was old enough, I was apprenticed to the great Rilf Janik. If you think yourself a bit of an amateur, you are welcome to the use of my alchemist's bench. I'm happy to sell you anything you require, and forgive any faces I make at your fitful potioneering. Were you aware that 37 varieties of vine, flower, and tree can be found here? Discounting, of course, the lunar gardens. Oh, you've met them? Well, any friend of theirs is a friend of mine. Although, truth be told, those sisters can be a little strange sometimes. Have you been? The true marvel of our city, if you ask me. Blossoms you will see nowhere else in Amalur. Good evening.
Move along, citizen.
Do not miss Leogriff's many marvels.
A prayer for our troops.
You'll see things there, the likes of which you never saw.
The liberation of Melsenshire is close. Hurry!
We aren't visiting Melsenshire anytime soon. This is all the help we get.
This is Cluricon we're talking about. Not your friend Amalur. You'll see things there, the likes of which you...
You there, my lovely. I like the look of you. I have gold to slip in your purse in return for a small favor. Me? You wish to know about me? I'm flattered, but I prefer to keep my cards close to my chest. The sea wreathes her. Old stone lifts her high. Gold and magic pulse through her veins. In the city of Rathir, a soft whisper in a dark corner unlocks many doors. Oh, now, don't sound so suspicious. I need some help in a matter of business. Tell me, do you know the merchant Gwalchmay? I am trying to strike a deal with that willful man, and I think I have found just the thing. Only, I cannot be the one to do it. The man who owns the goods store in the Pryderi. He's got his thumb on nearly all the trade in this city. I can't sell anything without his good word, it seems. I have already tried to negotiate with him. He proved hard, stubborn, and unpliable. We could not reach a deal. I was hoping a new face and a new approach might cause him to let down his guard, become reasonable. I have already tried. I was hoping a new face, and how very astute of you. Now, Gwalchmay, I have learned, has a weakness for rare wines. This right here happens to be a bottle of Maybrin, his favorite. I wish we had more than just the one. A pity. Here's the contract for him to sign. The better a deal you strike, the sweeter I will make your reward. In his goods store, in the Pryderi, the market. It's near the center of town. Get him drunk on Maybrin wine, and he should be magnanimous with the contract. If I were to approach him, he'd dig his heels in. But a fresh face such as yours, bearing a bottle of his favorite wine? It might just work. Be good, my lovely, and I'll be good to you.
Please, I'm only a soldier back from Chloricon. Don't kneel, and I'm afraid I don't do blessings. Me? They call me a war hero. Haven't you heard the songs? It was only 5 Bolgan, and I had a rusty knife. Huh, I don't see what all the fuss is about. As you know, until the siege ends, it's a lot of sitting around and brief skirmishes. Can't wait for a real fight. I tell you, we need a place like this in Chloricon. Sure, there are places to drink and gamble, but nothing with class. He's as vile as his sister's delectable. I don't know how word got round to him, though. I thought I was discreet.
You're not Army. What are you doing here? Just another soldier on leave, and I don't like questions. Of course, most of it's in Chloricon, where the damned war is. We're here on leave. Bloody war hero, haven't you heard? And besides, he's right there. You can speak with... We call it a war, but it's more a dying man's truce. We crouch in Melsenshire, and they lurk in Cursewood, and shoot arrows at each other. Now, this is going to be a farce. I've a bet with Dalton whether Wayland soils his pants.
Have you delivered those notices yet? No.
I broke my leg. Then the healer broke it again. Can you believe it?
Well, what ails you? This part of the officers' hall's my domain. I pass fresh recruits before we send them off, and treat them when they return. The ones from Cluricon are the worst. Missing or rotting limbs, the pox, that sort of thing. There's no disease or curse or superating wound I haven't seen 1,000 times in Cluricon, so don't be shy, and try not to whine. Have you been? Oh, foul land. Rank as a Cruddock's breath, and bleak as the northern sea. And that's without the damn Tuatha.
All right, then.
A few days and I'll be headed back.
City Watch. Do you have a crime to report? Or any other matter? My rank is First of the Watch, and I report directly to Captain Talabor. Think of the Watch as the right hand of the Orbicont. We keep the prison, keep the peace amongst the people. The council which governs Rathir. No one knows who is on the council, though you may see their palace atop the spire. They are cloaked in robes and shadows, but do not concern yourself with that. To be honest, crimes in Rathir are uncommon, outside the lower tunnels at any rate. An occasional drunken brawl among Varani, disputes between merchants, that is all. The Wending, where the poor live, extends into tunnels carved in the rock. Crimes there are hard to police, and the tunnels run deep. Thieves and the like will vanish there, and re-emerge when we are gone. Good then.
My good lady, welcome to the City Watch. I'm its captain. Now, how can I help you? Has something been lost or stolen? A relative to visit in prison? We see that order is kept and law-breaking does not pass unnoticed. If I may say so, we are very good. You will find no crime on the streets of our city, I assure you. Our prison is here within the Watch. All but the worst criminals serve their sentence there. Not a pleasant prospect. A grand and venerable city, is it not? Like none other. So many marvels, such great citizens. Yes, I know of them. Rag-pickers, orphans, denizens of the Wending. Happy to be of service.
City Watch, be on your way. The army keeps Lord in the burn. Wouldn't want to be caught cutting purses there.
Well, you're no guard. Here to let me out, is that it? That's a jest. Even if I could slip out of here, the damn Watch would have me back before you could count 12. I'd swear the stone spy for them. What am I here for, you mean? Would you believe I disgraced the great house's daughter? Didn't think you would. I had a right good swindle going with some Wending lads. But are they locked up? No. Bloody Alpha double standard. Let's just say if you carried 100 crates from ship to vault, no one's none the wiser if one or two things go missing from every haul. Whenever they do let me loose, I don't fancy I'll stay longer than a whore's wink. Anywhere else in Amalur, that's where I'd rather be. Go then.
Stop there. You're lost. Only the prison lies this way. We are the City Watch, and this is our home. You are a guest.
Conduct yourself as one. You don't want to end up in there, believe me. What's worse, though, is resisting arrest. I don't advise it. Do not think us a people given to folly or crime. But in a city so large as this, there must always be exceptions to the rule. If you have no business, be on your way.
The Watch sees all in
City Watch.
Mind your step.
They sent my sister off to war, gave her leather to wear and a dull sword.
Keep away from that daft mage. Turn you to a toad so much as look.
Welcome to the Wending, mate. I'm sorry it's come to that, but here we are, eh? Where you go when you can't find gold for a Pryderi garret or a bunk in the quays, nor get work in a servant's quarters up in some great house. If you're able, you sleep in a ramshackle house. If you can't, you sleep in the tunnels among the mice and candles and rags. Make no mistake, for the likes of me, it's warm and welcome. Gelfine buys and sells what you please. Kest deals the cards, sparrows come and go. And the Watch come through seldom to never, which is how we like it. Rathier. Some say it runs near as deep as it runs high. What I do know is the spire top's full of light and magic and wealth. Down here, shadows and rags and one daft old mage named Faldron Afari. Oh, him? No one knows his real name. Got that name from the way he talks. Some say he was next to the Archsage once, up Spire Top, and a spell went wrong, or his lover fell to her death. Whatever. What's this, eh? Time to serve? Well, I always knew it might come. Not sure what they want with a poor Runir Westerner like me, but I'll go. I'll go.
That man Nur says Lyria's no goddess of ours. Well, and if he's wrong, why is the...
Orphans and rag pickers, that's what the
That man Nur says Lyria's no goddess of ours.
Keep away from that daft mage.
Game of hexes, topsider? What, never played? It's easy enough. Lay down some coin. Give it a try. Cozy enough, isn't it? What with some found candles, a game of cards, and the occasional ranting out loud, we make do. We make do. As fine a game as there is. Needs but 6 cards, see? No better way to win some coin, idle the hours. Oh, one more game.
Here to gamble. Aaron Kest's right there. He'll deal you a hand. Me? I'm a nobody. Just a man who loves the dark and sleeping in a cave. And cards. Runs a good game of cards. Give it a try. He's a friend. Been a friend to me. Get back! I won't go, not there. I prefer living to dying, thank you all the same. Not with my bloody luck, no. I'll end at the front of the front, most likely with nothing but a spear in my hand. Go yourself. I'll give it to someone. Well, now there, find him in the City Watch. See if he'll take it. He might prefer... I'm watching the game. Ha ha! Not bloody likely. I told you.
Them that can't sleep in houses.
Away from that daft.
Keep away from that daft mage.
Game of hexes, topside. As fine a game, cozy enough is... Now that's what I like to hear. All you need recall is these 6 cards here in my hand. Ace, do... Now, you start with an ante. What'll it be? In my hand, here's an ace. If you're right on a hex or an ace, you take the hand number 2. I'll pull another card. Guess if it's bold. I like it. Now with the card, and the card's a 5. Oh, one more game.
Here to gamble. Aaron Me? I'm on. Runs a good game. Gaming table's right there. Get back! I won't get... Well, there's that. Hadn't thought of that. Might be nice. Cook's work or quartermaster's. I'm a fine cook, you know. Well, I'll miss the place. But I suppose there's dark and rocks in Cluricon. And soldiers play at cards now, don't they? I feared nothing more than those notices. But fear's worse than the thing itself. Strange, isn't it? Oh, I miss the sunlight.
Well, a topsider. Need something Gwalchmai's not got? What? Don't look at me like that. I don't like to be looked at. You go and wrinkle your nose at our caves and our tatters. At least I'm Rathiri, and no rotten outsider. I don't mind where you got anything. I don't ask. And don't you go minding where these came from. It's buy, sell, or leave. Buy something? Sell? Buy Lyria, don't say it so loud. Someone could hear. All right, it's yours, if you can pay the price. Remember, I never saw this. Or you. You got what you came for, now go! Get away from me.
That man stands in the tunnels day and night.
We shall live in our enemy's house, now above, then below. Spire, fire, higher, tire, crier, dire waters, dead.
Get! Out of my sight! Out, 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 out!
Creep, crawl, cower, flower, uproots down, and with a bleeding sun stumble to dusk. Dead and married be. You enemy of fate.
Don't like what you hear? The strong seldom do. We are cattle herded by Lyria's favorites. Caged, harried, and starved. I have seen the truth, and I will speak it aloud. She's the goddess of the strong, the fortunate, the magic-blessed. She's no goddess of ours. This city is not our city. We are the mice beneath its floors.
So Raph is dead too, then? Oh, Lunala, will the sparrows be murdered one by one? It began when Fara went missing. Then we found Syl's corpse in the alley, then Shiren's. Now Raph, we are helpless. We know nothing, can do nothing. Betrayed? We have traded more than rags with some, up above and here below. But who among them would hunt us down and murder us? This is too much for us. I beg you, go to the City Watch. See if there is anything they know, anything they can do to help us. None that would hunt us down and kill us. Not within Rathir. I am sure of that much. If they know nothing and cannot help us, then no one can. And you think even the Watch cannot be trusted? That is nearly unthinkable, yet still. Go there then, and see what you can learn first by looking around. The Watch knows much and records what it knows. But if all else fails, speak to Captain Talabor. Above the tunnels. Just be up if you can't learn anything on your own. Speak to Captain Talabor. Rag pickers, urchins, scamps. Call us what you like. We too have a place, and it is here. I look after my little birds, speak for them, and see to the finding and picking through all of what Rathir discards. All that Rathir does not need or want. The gold chain broken, the tailor's scraps, old ship casks, we sparrows gather up. We bring it here, we sort and mend, and sell it new for meager coins as we can. And that is how we live. Rathir is like a great stone tree, with mages in its boughs, bright ships in its shade. We sparrows nestle in its roots, as loved by Lyria as any other. The City Watch. Their name is whispered by all in Rathir with awe. They are just, firm, and all-seeing. He was our best climber. Knew the gutters and spire side as well as the gulls. And now he too is gone. Join me, sparrows. Let us mourn our brother departed. Raph, who lost mother to war and father to wine. Raph the climber.
The daggers are rusty, but we'll use them if we have to.
Kind.
They won't have to kill us. We all
Asker's Ale. Reminds me of old Gorehart. That's my home, or what? Army wages can pay for Allison now, but I'm leaving her. I'll send money. I hope she... Let them sleep in their loft.
Hello.
Welcome. Relax.
Don't miss the Seafoam Tavern.
Move along, citizen.
watch never rests.
How fare you, sister?
Students of magic?
Hello, hello. For common goods, come to me. Gems and shards. Good. What will it be, my friend? Yes, what about him? I sent him on an errand and I'm still waiting. Mabrin wine? Wherever did you find it? Forgive me, it's just they're devilish hard to find. You likely had no idea, but there's not a wine in the world I love more. In fact, I think I'll uncork this now and have a sip. Or two. Another? I could cry just to look at it. Best to drink it now. Yes, best thing for it. The more you drink, the better it goes down. A Mabrin? Oh, yes, very much. Excellent vintage. My warmest thanks. Very thoughtful of you. Very kind indeed. What's this? Trade agreement, eh? It's yours. Why, I'll give it to you for a song. That will get Karas to scout. Ah ha ha ha! Oh, an old crafty trader you are. It's a song, but for you, here's a sweeter one. There you go. A remarkable woman, there's no denying. But you be wary. Those eyes of hers make promises. Promise things she'll never give. Now there's Anwan and Wyvern Gif. The old oak and the greenweed, some say. Not I. The kind of one's as good as the other. Friend to any soul with such distinguished taste in wine. To you, friend. Rotten-smelling stinkers, they are. But how they love the scraps and tossings no one else would pay a coin for. What a wine you've brought. Oh, remarkable.
The ledger! Oh, Lunala's smile, you've done me a good turn. Master Gwalchmay'll be pleased as a fat Jotun when I bring him this, he will.
Do not miss Leogriff's many marvels.
Keep the peace.
The contract? You have it. Let me see. This is... I don't believe my eyes. Did he agree to this? Oh, my lovely. You have done well. This will be very profitable for me. And so it should be for you. Don't let the old dog fool you. He is as shrewd and stubborn as they come. But like any old dog, his tail will wag for just the right treat. For now, then.
The burn's for army use, not civilians.
City Watch.
A captain of the watch never rests, but you've caught me at a...
City Watch, be on your way.
Captain Talabor of the City Watch.
City... Watch.
What can I do for you? Sparrows? Murdered? I see. I'm so glad you've come to me before this went any further. As it happens, an old enemy of theirs has returned to Rathir. Dunn. Orwin Dunn, spotted on the quays. I have no guards to spare, but if you went now, found him, brought him in for questioning, Dunn could be found guilty. We have heard that he was spotted on the quays, snuck in aboard a merchant ship, most likely. A patrol of the watch will be sent after him, but if you were to go before, find him, prevent his escape, that would be well.
This is the City Watch.
Do not miss Leogriff's many marvels.
Just look at it all.
Sparrow send a hound out to the piers, and of course, now we're right where he wants the both of us, you and I. You think I'd just waltz back into Rathir like that? No, he lured me here to take the blame for the murders. That's what he did. Why the captain of the watch? The one that's been snuffing out those sparrows. He likely sent you here himself. Got you out of the way so he could go and slaughter the last of them, leisure-like. Clever bastard he is. Read the writing on the wall, mate. And if you weren't such a fool, you'd have left those sorry rag pickers to die in peace. Oh, I'd spit on their sorry graves for what they've done to me. But not enough to show our faces in Rathir. We're not that mad. Read the writing on the wall, mate. Oh, ho, ho. Now you see, that I cannot allow. Talibor is going to pin the murders on one of us, and it'll be the one who's dead. And that would be you. You're not going anywhere.
Years. This
Well, topside.
Lot of miserable rag pickers. You're the one. Do you know what you've done? A decoy, really. Arranged long before you got into this. I needed someone to blame. Done, you mean? You're still standing, which means that he's dead. We all protect our hides when we must. I couldn't have this waif and her lot telling what they'd found. Which is why it's so good that you came. I'll blame their murder on you. Say you died in the struggle.
He is dead. It is over now, thanks to you. And to think I only learned the cause of all this nightmare moments before he arrived. I was done with waiting. I had to do something, so I did what I know. I began sorting the piles of salvage, and that's when I found the cause. To hide his crimes, he was selling prisoners as slaves, smuggling them out to merchant ships in the dark of night. One of the boats wrecked and sank beneath the quays. That boat held slaves and gold, and had Talibor's name all over it. Before he could clear the wreckage, we took our pickings. We had his secret. He was willing to kill to save his name. In past times, we shared freely with the Watch, as we once did with the Dunman. But no longer. We will look after ourselves now. Defend ourselves now. Yes, I think that's best. As long as one other sparrow survives, I will be there to help keep this nest and shelter.
say?
How fare you, sister?
A drink? A plate of roast?
What can I get you, love?
You see, Gwatch? All of Rathir is lining up to meet... Well, here for the formalities, then. My sword is in the back. She's new, the real beauty. Go on and inspect it. I'm sure you'll find it more than suitable. Right in the next room, on the wall. Won her off a Varani chap. Mind you, don't grasp the hilt. They say it's bad luck.
Hope you know your man doesn't stand a chance.
You've inspected the sword? Good. And I will see you on the dueling ground, second. Must say, I haven't shamed a drunken lout since I got to Rathir. Well, you go off to that lout and tell him we're ready. And then we meet at the dueling ground. Simple as that.
Hope you know your man...
A few days and I'll be headed back.
$34 and 30. Not a gold piece.
Have a look.
Well now, how are you?
Well, you're not the only one who's been busy. I've called in every last favor in my book. Now there's only one last thing for after the duel. I have it all worked out. With your help, I'll be free of Rathir, free of the war, free as a lark. I need to prepare for the duel, and I can't be seen near the docks. I need you to find Jaber there and give him the name of the ship I chartered, the Maid of Fortune. That's where I escape once everyone thinks I'm dead. A simple thing, really. Find Jaber on the docks. Tell him the chartered ship is the Maid of Fortune. Fitting name, don't you think? A very mild poison. Don't ask how I know, or why Gelfine sells it. You appear dead for the length of a day, then you wake with a terrible headache. The rows of shadows will very quickly make me seem dead to that warrior oaf. I'll be moved from a coffin to a shipping crate. From shipping crate to Maid of Fortune's hold. From there, the high seas and beyond. No Rathir, no war, not a care. When you're done, meet me at the dueling ground.
Port today, sea tomorrow.
You've been talking to my son. What is he up to? I already know about this foolish duel. There's something else, isn't there? Wayland's mother, mistress of worsted traders. Not a woman to stand by and watch her son stumble out of the frying pan and into the fire. With a son like Wayland, you learn quickly. And in the end, this is all my fault. I should never have breathed a word to him about military service. Wayland's mother, mistress, so that's it. I should have known. Disgrace a war hero and slip out of Rathir. Well, I tell you what. Go on as you were, but give him the name of Ravenswing instead. I'll ship him right to Chloricon. A good shaking up, that's what he needs. When it's done, find me here. You'll be handsomely paid, I promise. Remember, the Raven's Wing, that's the vessel. Give word that Wayland be put on the Raven's Wing, that is all. And I will see you recompensed. I do not want for coin. Wayland's follies are indulgences of youth. Nothing a little discipline and service can't grind out of him. Yes, one of our merchant ships. She sits empty for now. Soon, full of charitable provisions for our troops in Chloricon. He has always been like this. Reckless. He takes after his father. What that boy needs is time in the army. Welch Maze is just too expensive.
Wayland sent you? What's the word? This is a devilish curious business, and I don't mind saying so. A friend, you might say. I've been called other words, but don't you mind that. So, it's to be the Maid of Fortune, then. Aye, I know her. Well and good, then. Oh, and when you're done, return here. Aye, if you'll go and second his duel. That's the bargain, ain't it? Let's do our parts. A friend of our friend, you might say. I've raised a glass or three with the lad now and then. Owe him a bit of a favor, too. You wish him luck for me. Make sure he's got the handle towards him and the point out the other way. I know that ship. Know the captain, too. Sturdy Master Keel. She'll serve well enough. Good day then, Dove, and good luck.
Back to sea.
Good day, friend.
If you two try anything...
Take your place, second.
Good, you're here. Wish me luck.
What have I done? Lyria, this is awful. How the blazes did I kill him? This was a duel to first blood. I can't stay in Rathir. This will get out. I was a hero here. All those fine dinners, the adoring girls. They'll hear of this. I'll be a monster to them now. That's where I'm headed after this mess. Dead? How is he dead? I hit him once.
He's got to go back to Mel Sen-Shir now. This is a scandal. That's where we're bound now. Can't linger here. Reckon I'll go with Dalton. I was. Don't matter what he did in the war. Now he's killed a man inside Rathir's walls. He'll have to leave.
Waltz maze is just too
Wayland said you were to have this when all was done. Well, all is done, so here you are. Now, what hasn't old Jaber done and been? Traveller in my youth, Captain, and that's the truth of it. And then I went to war. Did my part in Cluricon, but those days too are behind me now. A stranger land you'll never see. It's not lush and peaceful like here. It's dark and overgrown. But even then you could see the wounds of war upon the lands. I was a ragged urchin then picking pockets. Took me in when I tried to empty one of theirs. They taught me a thing or two. Dancing with fey folk by moonlight, making Almain maidens blush. Oh, wandering days. Ha! Well, Captain, some tales are best untold, don't you think? Still, a blush and a kiss may be the sweetest things in Amalur. By the look of you, you've stretched your legs. You've seen a fey or two yourself. They're folk and not folk, aye, Captain? Wise in years and wild as children, somehow both at once. And how some love to dance and sing. Now, I've not heard from the lad, but then that was the plan, aye? Wasn't it, Captain? Well, Captain?
Back to sea.
Curios, talismans, items of power.
Oh, and what would you have done?
Well, no, I wouldn't go so far as that.
That poor Anwan boy is sick and dying.
The day the gifts wed themselves to House Wyvern. What a
You won't find any door into the Orbicant.
The Watch sees all in Rathir.
Come, be at ease. Wyvern Gif are not so stiff or haughty as some great houses. If it were the custom to take your husband's name, I might have been Tanra Wyvern, and there would have been no sneering whispers. It caused enough of a stir that my husband added his name in front of Gif. Well, I am proud to share it. There are 10 great houses that flank the spire's rise, and 2 upon its top. One of those is Wyvern Gif. So do not listen to any idle rumors. I bear no one ill will. If some are too haughty to speak with me, the shame is on their own heads. I get so angry when I hear people speak against Rathir's full engagement in the war. It is a disgrace to us all, and before the eyes of our Losafar cousins, too. The great families, most of all, must show their support for it. Everyone looks to us. I cannot understand Coriana Anwan on this point. I ask you, was there ever any doubt what this Gadflow was, or that he must be torn from his throne? Why let him stand? She actually seems to believe Rathir should defend itself, and let the rest of the world rot. I'm truly sorry that her son is ill, but would she wish the healers to let him die because they have no Anwan in their blood?
No entry, I'm afraid. This here is the Orbicon. Don't believe me, do you? Don't believe me, do you? Don't know why? Don't believe me, don't know why I stand guard here, to be honest.
Good day. Before you lies the Scholia Arcana. All are welcome upon our grounds, though we ask you do not disturb the students. 600 years of magical scholarship and training. Nor did our history prevent us from accepting the younger races. The Almain and Varani, of course. It was not so many generations back that only the gnomes and Alfar possessed magic. And still, no one knows what kindled this sleeping talent in their breasts. Every mortal who shows promise in the art is welcome among us. Of course, they must pass the trial. We must have standards. Did you know this spire rock was first settled by a hermit mage and his disciples? Only when Jotun marauders threatened the Twili Bluffs did the rest seek safer refuge here.
My Lady Coriana won't eat. She won't sleep. All on account of a poor, sick Malian. Woe on House Anwan. My poor lady. What grief she's known. Her daughters lost to Cluricon and her husband to the war before that. Her son Malian is all that's left to her, and the only seed of House Anwan. Oh, my masters aren't like some up Spire top. Just one name to our house, thank you very much, and nearly old as Rathir at that. There are but 2 left of Anwan blood. One soon enough if young Master Malian does not mend. Poor boy, he sleeps and tosses and turns. From the things he says under his breath, his dreams must be ghastly things. The healers say bad blood, but my lady swears it's poison. He sleeps and sleeps, but he's never any better. Well, it's hard to say. The healers are no use. You could go to her yourself and ask. No harm in that. You'll find my lady in the house, by poor Melian's side, most likely. Here, in House Anwan. She spends most of her time by poor young Melian's The young master's sickness, yes. He's the last one living, what with the others dead in the war. Do help my lady if you can.
So then she looked at me and said,
So many mages these days.
The Wyvern gifts are a disgrace.
Fetch this, clean that. Never a moment's rest.
Why, hello, young lady.
The gold old Ebsel gifts that
Welcome. On behalf of myself, my wife and my daughter, I welcome you to the spire top, and all that House Wyvern Gift can offer. I'm the patriarch of the Wyvern Gift Great House. Show the proper respect. It is peculiar, I confess, that we kept my name, but the Wyverns are a very old family, and all agreed it was best if it were joined with Give. You must forgive my Lady Tanra if she sometimes speaks out of temper. It's been very hard for her. You see, some of the great houses have been slower to accept her than basic civility demands they should. You are a student there yourself, are you not? Many of the important and powerful in Rathir have graced those halls. I wish you fortune. You mean the Song of My Heart? She's the sweetest thing. Though I worry her mother coddles her some. Atop the spire you will find the two preeminent great houses, Anwan and our own. You will also find the Scholia Arcana, the Orbicant, and the Temple of Lyria. The Orbicant is our ruling council. Its members are shrouded except the Elund, who speaks for them. I am a spiritual man myself and visit the temple gardens daily. The High Priestess offers blessings, counsel, and fate-weaving. So long.
The army keeps Lord in the burn.
I am the governess of Miss Wyvern Giff. It is my duty to train my charge in matters of speech and... I will confess, there are days I yearn for a more eager pupil. I do not blame her. Were her parents more persuasive themselves, such willfulness would have been smothered long ago. A topic that interests you? Would you like to learn some of the art? I am confident a small lesson would be permitted by the house. We are a people of subtle speech and hidden hands. All around us at great beauty, yes, but what does it hide? So long.
Did my parents send you? Are you some sort of new instructor? You're not an instructor? I thought they might have sent another. They've had Majessa here for almost a year now. She does always get me to attend to her lessons somehow, though I'm not sure how she does it. I know what they want. They want to marry me to some snotty, spoiled son of another great house. Then I can become Maywin Wyvern Giff Fiddlestuffs. I don't know which is worse, the snotty wyverns or the foolish fawning Giffs. I suppose it's nice enough, but then I wouldn't know. I have nothing to compare it to. What is this? Have my parents seen this? Oh, Lunala's starry smile. Yes, yes, and yes! To Chloricon. Think of it. They won't like it when they hear, but what can they do? Buy me out of it? No, not this time. Thank you, stranger. Thank you. Imagine, right in the thick of the war, and me with a sylvan spear, facing red-eyed howling Tuatha. And life beyond the spire.
Hello. It is true, my student tests my powers almost every lesson. Farewell.
You're welcome in our home. We do not stand on ceremony. She is being sent to Chloricon. This is preposterous. If my enemies wish to harm me, let them launch subtle machinations against my own person. Are you serious? You must have had very good then. You're welcome in our home. We farewell.
Guards! Guards!
You there! Halt! Don't let me catch...
Why, hello.
Oh, such a...
My lady will be
Don't
sore
mind
if
me.
I'm not swift with my work.
The lady of House Anwan's beside herself over her son. Poor Enfe's almost worse.
My son Malian is gravely ill. The healers say his blood is diseased, but I am sure it must be poison. If I were younger, I'd go and find the Lepidus myself and prove them wrong. Our line is ancient. However, if my son Malian is not cured, we shall wither, and the weeds of Wyvern Gif grasp ever higher. The heel has bent beneath no malady in generations. No, Malian was poisoned, I am sure. His father died in the Battle of Galliffer Plain. His sisters in Cluricon. He is all I have left, and he is slipping away from me. It was early in the war, and until that time we had known only defeat. The day was won, and my husband lost. So Tanra Gif has been spreading more artless rumors, has she? I'm not against the war. Haven't I given my husband and daughters to it? But I fear for the sovereignty of Rathir. The army under General Talera has too much liberty, land, and sway. And what do we get in return? Brutal and heavy-handed approaches to a complicated problem. More sophisticated tactics might have saved lives. She is lost in the wilderness. She searches for mythical solutions to real problems. How can this stalemate? One would imagine a Losalfar general to use a bit more wisdom to combat the Tuatha. The Wyverns were of respected and decent lineage, though their wealth was not great. Then the merchants Gif bought House Wyvern, much to our surprise. They have mixed sea wash with fine wine. Bring my son this wild plant, and I will see you richly rewarded. This I swear. Of course not. But my family legacy says it will, and I have no wish to watch my son die while there is still a chance for hope. There's only one place that I know of, the Acathan wetlands. You must search for it there. You will know Lepidus by the shape of its blue flower. The wetlands of Acatha. Find it and bring it to my son with all due haste. It is an herb with natural properties. It is not strictly alchemy, and it does not cure a poison. However, it can relieve the symptoms for a time. Malian will still need an antidote before he is fully well. Be wary. I have sent servants before you who did not return.
Oh, goodness.
So then she looked at me and said, if that's a war...
May your fate be blessed.
Every morning, fresh soldiers board warships on the burn. Every night, the dead and wounded are carried from the ships.
All who love Lyria should seek the Orison at the temple. It's like nothing else I've known.
Move along, citizen.
The day the gifts wed themselves to House Wyvern. If you've come seeking prayer and sanctuary...
You won't find any door into the Orbicon.
Do you seek fate weaving? See Priestess Saranin.
Tell me, what brings you to this sacred place? For prayer? For the weaving of your fate? Or for the orison? This temple was founded by Bayala Tiran herself, mother and prophetess of our people. It was High Priestess Tiran who led our people from Glen Sutton. It was she who found Rathir. It was she who sheltered and guided us, who made us who we are. It is said that our goddess is the goddess of magic, but by so being, she is goddess at the heart of things, of mystery, and the true weaver of fate. There is something peculiar about you. The threads are... But you know of this, don't you? Then you are the one. I had heard rumors, but never thought... Well, it is good to meet you. You have drawn Lyria's attention. May I look into your cards? Where were you raised, child, that you do not know this? It is 3 tasks, performed in devotion to Lyria by any who desire her blessing. Sojourn, service, and giving. They wind from outward to inward, and from the depths of our history to this very moment. It is no idle turn of phrase. Though you gave of yourself to earn it, your gain will be greater than the sacrifice. Sojourn. So you began when you entered this temple. The first task is the sojourn. Have this. It is an amphora. With it, travel to the 3 springs blessed by Priestess Tiran on her sojourn from the north. Fill the amphora with some of each spring. 1 is just outside Rathir, a 2nd in Lower Galafor, the 3rd is in Snowmelt Pass. Bring the amphora I gave you to each of the 3 sacred when you are done, return to me. Enter.
Yeah? What are you doing here? I don't suppose you're becoming a child of Lyria? Lyria, you think you might want to speak a little more quietly? I don't need anyone here getting wise to me. And let me guess, you're a traveler and you've been called to seal the cowl of the maiden. Well, I beat you to it. Cowl's mine. I guess you're right. Irian has a flair for the melodramatic, sure, but I know he's taken my loss hard. It seems I can't get away from the travelers. They really are my life. Fine, take the cowl. I'm headed back to Moon Camp. Dismiss. Good day to you. What do you need? Yeah? What are you doing here? I don't suppose you're becoming a child of Lyria. I'm not the queen of anything now, and I'm not keen to do any talking. They break away from all the rules, the trappings, and be themselves. I remember that was why I first joined. The damned fool. All the work I do for him in camp, all the sacrifices I've made to be with him. He made a little mistake, but that's the last one. I won't wait around until he forgets me entirely. I spent my life growing up in the upper city of Rathir, so you might not understand, but I love that camp. There's always colors and dancing and music. I feel free there. It's hard to be apart from it. Stupid Irian. I've taken orders before, but a commander ought to at least look a soldier in the eye when telling them what to do. But the Hierophant doesn't do that. The orders just come in secret and no one takes responsibility for them. A damn fool idea, if you ask me. Amalur, and let me guess, you're a I guess it seems I can't get away. Good day to you. What do you need? I once lived in Rathir's upper city, and then I fell in love with a man that sold songs for a living. Irian. But there was little joy in my father's heart for our feelings, so I left for the Travelers, just a wisp of a lass. Farewell.
Welcome to our temple. I am a daughter of Lyria, one of many sons and daughters who have devoted themselves here. My station is to look after the relics sacred to our order. Sadly, many of the relics we once had are now lost. When the war first came, we sent one out to every stronghold keep. This served two purposes. It brought faith and strength to our soldiers there, and if Rathir fell, some relics might still remain. We have announced a gold reward for their return, but sadly, none have yet come back to us. Please do. There are at least 6 that I know of, sent to the major strongholds of the Plains of Arathel. Bring any you find to me. Lyria rewards those in her favor. They were primarily sent to the strongholds of the Plains of Arathel, but any that you find will be gladly welcomed and thanked with gold. All are welcome here to pray, to reflect and find peace. If you seek fate weaving or the Orison, you should speak with the High Priestess. Priestess Saranin oversees the temple. Though her station is high, she is gracious and open to all who visit. She will weave your fate if you ask, or lead you on the sacred ritual we call the Orison. You should speak with her if you wish to know more. The goddess of magic, fate, mysteries. We believe that order and chaos are how others want the world to be. But Lyria is concerned with what is, and what can truly change it. True wisdom is knowing the one and grasping the other. The Lunar Gardens, or sometimes the Garden of Eternal Night, dedicated to the goddess Lunala. How it works is a mystery. Lunala is goddess of night, the moon, and what is hidden. It is said she is Lyria's handmaiden, or her daughter, or her younger sister. It has left so many scars on our city, our souls, and the land beyond. Nor has it stopped taking life. The great Alfar strongholds of Arathel are Dolve Arn, Verki, Rithen, Candrian, Dolve Whale, and Corgan Hold. It was long ago. I don't know very much about it. There were the plague times, and then the burning. And then the second burning came when the Tuatha broke through our defenses. They set our southern keys on fire. I remember it. I watched from here. So long.
The Watch sees all in Rathir. Then someone else will have to. Damn fool. Hey.
The army keeps lowering her.
What do you want? I'm beset by petitioners these days. Another advocate for this absurd plan to retake Melsenshire, I take it. Look to Rathir's sister across the strait. Her battered walls, her burned gardens, her back broken from a decade of war. We take in refugees. We send them food that we can spare. We try to ease her pain. But for 10 years I stood here and watched her die slowly. And now you, a stranger, think to convince me to commit the whole of this city to saving her because our army's greatest failure has recovered some old relic. Melsenshire stands as Rathir's eastern shield. Even now, nearly broken, she still stands. This city can do nothing for the fortress, but perhaps its people can. The wounded we have here wish to return to fight for the fortress one last time. I'll tell them to meet you at the docks, and take this as well from my own collection. May it be of use to you in the coming battle. Go to the eastern docks in the lower city and find Captain Dodwin. He will oversee your journey to Melsenshire. I am the Elund, and I speak with the voice of the Orbakart. Within this city, my word is law. Those who watch and govern Rathir, they sit in secret council. Even their names are unknown, and are thus above corruption and idolatry. Only I am known, the Elund, their voice. They rule Rathir, and they do so from behind a veil. I am their face and their voice. The city of walls is lost to us, and we can afford no more troops for them. Better to muster our forces to counterattack after its fall. You carry with you Rathir's bravest sons and daughters. Realize that if you fail to liberate that withered wall, you will have doomed our city as well. Do not speak to me of the war. I am the voice of Rathir, not a general or a fate weaver, nor Lyria herself, who alone controls the outcome. They have delved earthward, where we have lifted high. They think no one watches them because they are thus sheltered. The deeper they dig, the higher we will rise. Rathir has taken in half of Melsenshire's population as refugees from the war. Orphans fill our poorhouses. They've never seen their parents' city and never will. I realize they long for their home, but they need to accept a painful fact. Rathir is their only home now. Melsenshire is no more. Go. Save our sister across the sea. Move along! Or die with her.
Aye. You know, before I met you, I swore to myself that my fighting days were behind me. After fighting nearly all my life, it was one of the hardest things I've had to do. But now you've taken me this far. If I don't take these next steps on my own, I don't think I ever will. The Fae in the House of Vengeance are, bar none, the fiercest, strongest, most downright unstoppable creatures in the land. Not that they have a lot to be vengeful about. After all, Godflow was the one who started the damned war.
nightmare it is.
Welcome.
Greetings. Savant Engar is quite the...
Greetings. Greetings. The Issa chapter is... As teachers go, Master Telemachus Ras. Frankly, I don't know why they don't train us all to be war mages.
Come to have a look at our library, haven't you? We'll take it in. Studying magic is one thing, but it should be done while walking the plains or the woods or deserts, not in some library. I love the campus, but there's too many people who'd rather have their noses in books than in the dirt. Can you believe it? You have the passion for craft as well. Purest form of the Scholia Arcana, I think. Directly interacting with and manipulating the magics of our world. Shame that I have no skill with it myself. There are few others around that might be of help. Or Thanara, or Artancade. Been a pleasure.
Joram Quintus of the Issa chapter always has a wide stock of...
Speak to Pel Grandy or Will Donnell.
If you're looking for supplies. Are you here for the evaluation? I've already administered the written copies. This will have to be an oral exam. I oversee the library in the Rathir chapter. Many walk the road of knowledge, but I make sure they do so in an orderly manner. Were it so easy to summarize an institution like the Scholia Arcana in a few short words, books, I think, do it slightly more justice. The Rathir chapter has some of the finest collections of manuscripts in the plains of Erethel. I guarantee it. What? Oh, right. If you're interested, I can proctor a special case of our introductory level methodology exam. Members of all ranks, regardless of their skill, must always know the value of research and perception. I understand your studies with us are a unique situation, so let's consider this practice. Take this book, read it, and understand what it means to be part of our order. The Omnibus Arcana is a staple of the education in our institution. All first-year students are given a copy to study. The lessons involve an introduction to the rigors of studying magic, as well as the value of applying yourself to your studies. Each book is different for every user, but they all impart the same basic knowledge. This is the Omnibus Arcana. It is a magical text that holds the collected knowledge of our order. It is also imbued with a certain form of intelligence. Follow its directions as you would my own. The test begins in the courtyard. From there, you're on your own. This is an introductory text given to all first-year students. It's considered canon. Goodbye, then.
Hello. Good day.
Faster, harder, put the spell, damn you all! The maid who hesitates is lost. You must be confident. You must strike. Ah, a newly recruited student. Welcome. Please join us. We're simply preparing for some field research. I oversee the training of initiates here in the Rathir chapter. Defensive work, mostly, to protect themselves while doing research or going on expeditions. Magic is reaching all races. If we do not know what its limitations and strengths are, then we are in for darker times.
There are a number of advantages to basing ourselves in Rathir. The plains are among the most magical of the regions in these lands. And we receive special patronage from the Orbicant, the rules of Rathir, for the purposes of furthering the study of magic. Part of the training involves sending initiates to Gloam Thicket, a Fey Hollow and a Katha. It gives my pupils first-hand experience with Fey magics. Now that I think of it, I believe you're overdue for some field research yourself. Care to investigate? I try to give the initiates some perspective on the scope and types of magic. Part of this involves seeing the magic of the Fey. Gloam Thicket was an ideal spot for them to observe Fey magic, but lately, they haven't been returning. Something's preying on the initiates. I tried to give the initiates some perspective. Gloam Thicket was an ideal spot for them to observe Fey magic. Like I said, it's in the Akatha. Given the environment and the presence of Morgan, I'd say a Banshane priestess has awakened. Dangerous things. I suggest fireballs to the head repeatedly until it stops moving. Find the Banshane priestess that's killing our initiates. It's nestled in the flooded plains of Akatha. Never used to be more than Morgan there, but now it's something more serious.
How do I keep losing quills?
Ugh. Casting magic is something I can handle, but all this theory... How am I supposed to summarize the 9 principles of warding in 10 words? You're never too old to learn something. That's what I always say. Of course, it helps that I forget everything half the time. The Order. It's one of the most respected orders in the Feylands. I spent the better part of my life training to be a part of it. I hear there's more tutelage that goes on here at the Rathir chapter. And when you've learned enough, you're sent out into the world. I even hear some go to Isa. Be seeing you.
Greetings. I have healing abilities if you seek some aid. I joined the Order to become a battle mage, but I quickly learned the horrors of such magic. I elected to study healing instead. I came to the Order years ago, eager to learn how magic can be used to help the mortal races. I've lived in Rathir my whole life. This is the heart of the Alfar, the center of the world. Healing is a discipline that not many choose to pursue here. There is a stigma that it is a craft for village elders and common folk. But it involves mastery of spellcraft, alchemy, and anatomy. Many simply lack the patience needed to learn these works. If you need me again, I'll be here.
day.
Greetings.
Ah, welcome to the Scholia Arcana, young one. How may I be of assistance? Few sorcerers possess the aptitude or the wisdom of savant Ethan Engar. The Scholia Arcana is lucky to have him. A city of splendors indeed. The Scholia Arcana shares the spire with a great many of the Alfar elite. Rathia has stood for centuries. Through famine and through fire, it will stand for centuries more. Most would tell you that the Scholia Arcana is the continent's premier journal and lecture society, an order of learned mages and scholars. And that is true. It is simply not the whole truth. In time, you will learn what I mean. I have a feeling about you. The fabled Irathi ruin that lies deep within the She of Dalantarth? I know the place. They say rogue sorcerers, foul worshippers of the fire god Vrakor, make haven in its halls. Interested in a bit of sage crafting or alchemy? Itran Skan or Red Thumbroom will be or if dispelling is your preference, try to find Artan Cade about. The man's a wizard with a ward. Ah, the great Nuala Ignis. She was something of a rising star among us, not unlike you. She also had quite the affinity for fire, I believe. Later, then.
Dispelling is a skill that all adventurers, Scholia Arcana or no, should take to heart. I am but a humble practitioner of the arts of dispelling. I share my knowledge with all who wish to learn. It is rather alarming, it seems, that more mages know how to create wards than undo them. The Rathia chapter certainly manages to provide the resources we need, be they financial, academic, or even personal. Another time.
I've been providing goods to the Order for over a decade. I provide all members of the Scholia Arcana with the tools and items their training might require of them. Worked here my whole life. I've seen things shocking enough to make you blind. It takes a certain kind to last long in this Order, I think. Largest city on the continent. At least, it was once, before the gnomes refused to quit adding to Odessa. I'll be around if you need me.
Greetings.
Joram Quintus of the Issa chapter always has a wide stock of...
Well, I'm done with my formal lecture, but I am always happy to discuss the art of sagecrafting, if that's what you're looking for. There is much that goes into the study of sagecrafting, but though some obsess with the practical forms, I devote myself to its theoretical elegance. Magic is more powerful than it ever has been, and who is more important in such a time as now than the Scholia Arcana? Oh dear, it seems that I've had my symposium scheduled at the same time as Earth and Nara's lecture. She's going to be cross. Attend to yours. I'm sorry, but the symposium... Well, I'm done with my... Well, I'm done. I'm sorry, but the symposium on the effects of mana sublimation in sagecrafting ended some time ago. Might I suggest perhaps maintaining some punctuality? Until next time.
Oh, is there something you need of me? Oh, well, not many care to inquire about me. Usually it's all about sage crafting and gem lattices. It's my work, you see. A wonderful institution, if only for appropriating funding for the study of magic. You know, instead of using funds for silly things like weapons or entertainment. I have no idea why the chapter continues to schedule my practical sagecrafting lectures at the same time as the Sagecraft Theory Symposium. Farewell.
Hello.
I have many things I wish to attend to, but I can always make time if there's a matter you wish to discuss. I can think of no greater mystery than what it must have been like for the first alchemists to sample the potions they made. I only wish I had been there. Many, many years ago I joined this hallowed order. I was young, tender at the age of 15, and gifted far beyond my rights in the art of magic. Ethan Enger recognized my potential even then. He was the first to show me the wonders of alchemy. I've been happily blowing my eyebrows off ever since. The great city of the Alfar has never fallen, and never will. At least, not until it does. You can find me here.
Hello. Hello.
Greetings, neophyte. So, a necromancer was behind Melaglir's disappearing villagers. Disturbing. My suspicions regarding your potential were well-founded. You are forthwith promoted to the rank of docent. As a docent, your first order of business is to the west, to speak with a man named Anchor Edmure. You are to liaise with a man named Anchor Edmure, a rather enthusiastic sagecrafter from the village of Emer to the west. He often sends reports of mystical occurrences that usually turn out to be exaggerated tales of inebriated fever dreams. His latest cry for help, however, may hold some truth. Go to Emer, speak to the man, and find out what he means by Shardfall has come alive. Let me know in the meantime, I will continue studying the rather phenomenal properties of this sunstone. I am a savant in our prestigious order. As scholars of the arcane, we are organized into various ranks according to our mastery of magic. Savant is the second highest rank of the order. My responsibilities may be difficult for you to comprehend until you are better versed in exactly what it is we do. You wish to know more about him? I believe he is a sagecrafter of some ability. His ardor for magic is noble, but I fear he has never demonstrated the breadth of skill necessary to warrant an invitation to our order. I imagine it rankled Adept Fell to no end that you were responsible for saving her life. That pleases me. He is the most powerful practitioner of magic alive, that we know about at least. Few members of the Order ever get to meet the Archsage, to tell the truth. He's simply too busy doing whatever it is that Archsages do. Where did I put my quill?
Good evening.
Good evening.